My sister-in-law called me a gold digger at my son's birthday party. Loudly. In front of everyone. When I asked my husband to speak up, he said, "She's just honest. Maybe you should reflect." That night, I found my name removed from our joint account and my phone cut off. I sat in my car crying until I got a call from a private number that changed everything. "I'm Clara. I'm 34. I live in Naperville, Illinois, a nice suburb just outside Chicago. Big trees, good schools, quiet neighbors. It's the kind of place people move to when they think they've made it. I moved here 7 years ago after marrying my husband, Daniel. Daniel comes from money. His dad owned a chain of construction supply businesses across the Midwest. When he passed, Daniel got everything. I didn't know that when we met. I was working at a Verizon store back then. I wasn't broke, but I wasn't rich either. I'd been independent my whole life. Paid for college myself. Worked 2 jobs. I didn't want handouts. Daniel came in to upgrade his phone. He was charming, made me laugh. We hit it off. I liked that he didn't act like he was better than anyone, at least not back then. He asked me out, and soon we were spending every weekend together. He said I grounded him. I believed it. A year later, I got pregnant with our son, Luca. Daniel proposed with a ring the size of a dime, and insisted we get married quickly. I thought it was love. His sister, Callie, was the only one who didn't pretend to like me. She didn't show up to our wedding, didn't call after Luca was born, and never missed a chance to throw little jabs at me during family get-togethers. The first time I met her, she looked me up and down and said, "Oh, you're down to earth." She didn't hide the way she felt. She thought I was a gold digger from the second she saw me. And Daniel always brushed it off. "She's like that with everyone," he'd say. "Don't take it personal." But I did. And he knew it. Fast forward to last weekend. Luca's 7th birthday. I planned the whole thing. Rented a bounce house. Pirate theme. Treasure hunt. Face painting. I even made cupcakes from scratch with little chocolate coins on top. It was perfect. Until Callie walked in. She came late, wearing heels that sunk into the grass and a white designer dress like she was headed to a photo shoot. She acted like the party was for her. She kissed Daniel on the cheek and ignored me completely. Handed Luca a bag and said, "Here you go, sweetie. Probably your favorite gift, trust me." Then turned to the other parents and laughed. I rolled my eyes and tried to focus on Luca. But then it started. We were all gathered near the bounce house, watching the kids scream and laugh, when Callie decided to hold court. "I mean, let's be honest," she said, sipping from her wine glass. "Some women work their whole lives to build something. Others just marry well." People turned and looked. I heard a few awkward chuckles. Then she looked right at me and said, "You're really good at working your way up. I mean, from selling phones to living in a $1 million house. That's quite the upgrade." I stood there, frozen. My hands were shaking. "Excuse me?" I said. She smiled. "I'm just saying, you should teach a class on how to spot a good catch." I looked at Daniel, who was standing maybe 5 feet away at the grill. "You gonna say anything?" I asked him, loud enough that a few people stopped talking. He didn't even meet my eyes. He flipped a burger and said, "Callie's just honest. Maybe you should reflect." That's when I knew something was really wrong. I smiled politely, turned around, and went inside the house. I locked myself in the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. My face was red, my chest was tight, but I forced myself to breathe. I told myself to get through the party for Luca. I did. Barely. After everyone left and Luca was asleep, I asked Daniel about it again. "You didn't have my back out there," I said. He leaned against the kitchen counter and crossed his arms. "You overreacted. She just said what everyone else is thinking." I couldn't believe it. "So you think I married you for money?" He shrugged. "I think you saw an opportunity. And I think you like the lifestyle. That's not a crime, Clara. But let's not pretend you were living this kind of life before me." It was like a switch flipped. "I gave up everything to build this family," I snapped. "I started my own business while raising a baby. I've done everything to support you. And you think I'm some kind of leech?" He didn't answer. Just walked away. I wanted to call my sister. But my phone had no service. I restarted it. Still nothing. I went to my laptop. No Wi-Fi. Something wasn't right. So I got in my car, drove a few blocks to Starbucks, and used their Wi-Fi in the parking lot. I logged into our bank account. It had always been joint. Until now. My name was gone. Every dollar from our joint savings was moved into an account I didn't recognize. I opened my cell account with Verizon. My name was removed. The family plan was changed. My phone was now a child line, with restricted access. He cut me off. He cut me out. And he didn't say a word. I sat in that car for hours. Crying. Shaking. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have cash. I couldn't call anyone. I felt like I was losing my mind. Then my phone rang. Private number. I answered. Clara? A woman's voice said. You don't know me, but I know Daniel. I know what he's doing. I've been where you are. If you want to get out of this, meet me tomorrow. 10 a.m. Ogden and Jefferson. Don't tell anyone. Don't bring anything with his name on it. Just come. I didn't even ask her name. I just said yes. Because I had nothing left to lose. I barely slept that night. I lay in the guest bedroom because I couldn't stand being near Daniel. Every sound in the house made me jump. I kept looking at the clock, counting down to 10 a.m. I didn't even know who the woman on the phone was, but I knew I had to meet her. By 9:30, I was already in the car. I left without breakfast, without saying a word to Daniel. He didn't ask where I was going. Didn't even look up from his phone. I drove to the intersection she told me, Ogden and Jefferson. It was an old gas station with a closed-down diner next to it. The kind of place people don't pay attention to. I parked and waited. At exactly 10 a.m., a silver Jeep pulled up next to me. A woman in her early 40s stepped out. Brown hair and a ponytail, jeans, no makeup. She looked tired but focused. She walked straight to my car and tapped the window. You Clara? I nodded and got out. She didn't introduce herself right away. She just said, let's take a walk. We walked behind the diner, where no one could see us. Then she finally said, I'm Rachel. I dated Daniel. For 2 years. Before he met you. I stopped walking. You're his ex? She nodded. And I saw what he did to you coming from a mile away. According to Rachel, this was Daniel's pattern. He'd meet women he thought he could control. Women who had less than him. He'd shower them with gifts, promises, safety, then slowly pull the rug out from under them. He did the same to me, she said. Started making me feel guilty for things I never asked for. Made me quit my job so I could focus on us. Then when I had nothing left, he cut me off. She told me Daniel was careful. Always made sure everything was in his name. Bank accounts. House. Cars. Even the kids' school forms. Did you sign anything recently? She asked. I thought back. 2 weeks earlier, Daniel had asked me to sign some papers. For tax stuff. I didn't read them. I just trusted him. Rachel nodded. He's prepping for divorce. Quietly. That paperwork probably moved assets out of your reach. He'll wait a little longer, make you look unstable, maybe even try to claim you abandoned the marriage. I felt sick. Everything I thought I knew was crumbling. What do I do? I asked her. Rachel looked me dead in the eye. You fight back. But smart. Quiet. You don't confront him yet. You gather proof. You build your case. And you let him think he's still winning. Over the next 2 weeks, I played the game. I acted normal at home. I cooked dinner. Picked Luca up from school. Pretended like nothing was wrong. But behind the scenes, I met with a divorce lawyer Rachel connected me to. She was a beast. Her name was Susan, and she didn't smile once during our first meeting. She read through the financials I was able to recover. Helped me file an emergency motion to freeze certain assets. I used my business contacts to pull invoices and income Daniel had hidden under the table. Then I found something huge. While digging through our home office, I found a folder tucked in the back of the filing cabinet. Inside were copies of payments, large ones, to someone named M. Landry. The amounts were strange. $8,000 one month. $5,500 the next. Repeating over almost a year. Susan helped me track the name down. It was a woman. Megan Landry. Her LinkedIn profile showed she worked for Daniel's company, for a while. No longer employed. But the payments kept going even after she left. Susan raised her eyebrows. This could be personal. Or hush money. Either way, it's leverage. Then it got worse. Rachel texted me late one night with a photo she said she got through a friend. It was Callie. My sister-in-law. Sitting in Daniel's office. Signing papers. She's involved, Rachel said. Probably helping him move things under her name. I wanted to scream. But I stayed quiet. Because I had a plan. The next move I made changed everything. I installed a small voice recorder inside the home office. Hidden behind a decorative bookend. Daniel never noticed. He spent hours on the phone in there, always with the door cracked open. I got everything. Him talking to Callie about how she doesn't suspect anything. Him laughing about how easy it was to switch her phone account and move the savings. Him bragging about how he was setting me up to walk away with nothing. I sent the recordings to Susan. She didn't respond with words. Just a thumbs up emoji. But the real twist came 3 days later. I got a text from an unknown number. You don't know me, but I know Megan Landry. She wants to talk to you. She has something to say about Daniel. Meet at the 3rd Street Cafe Tuesday, 2 p.m. I showed Susan. She said to go. But bring a friend. Rachel came with me. When Megan walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked nervous, thin, like she hadn't slept in days. She sat down and said quietly, I'm not proud of what I did. But I think it's time you know. Daniel had been paying her for over a year. Not for sex, but for silence. She had gotten pregnant. And then he paid her to take care of it. She agreed to keep quiet, for the money. But now the payments had stopped. And he threatened her when she asked about it. I'm scared of him, she said. But I'm more scared of staying silent. I recorded her statement. Got her to sign a written version, too. Susan's exact words after reading it? We own him now. After Megan signed the statement, Susan looked like a shark who just smelled blood. This changes everything. She told me. This isn't just divorce now. This is legal exposure. Financial fraud. Possible coercion. Family court's not going to like this. I didn't care about court yet. I just wanted to know who I'd been living with all these years. Rachel told me something that stuck with me. You want him to feel what it's like to lose control. Men like Daniel. They only break when their image cracks. So that's what I aimed for. I started small. I had a copy of our wedding photos taken down from the hallway and replaced with a painting Luca made. Daniel didn't say anything, but I saw him pause when he walked past it. I started locking the master bedroom door at night. He knocked once, then gave up. I kept up appearances for Luca's sake, but the silence between Daniel and me grew louder by the day. Then one morning, Callie showed up again. She was in the kitchen with Daniel when I came down the stairs. She stopped talking when she saw me. Fake smile, tight voice. Morning, Clara? I didn't answer. She walked past me toward the door, then turned back and said loud enough for Luca to hear. I really hope you're making the right choices. Kids suffer the most when mothers act out. That was it. That was the moment I stopped pretending. I followed her out the front door, grabbed her by the arm, and said, You talk about being a good mother? You helped your brother steal from the mother of his child. She jerked her arm away. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I do, I said. And soon everyone will too. Including the court. Her eyes narrowed. You don't want to start a war with this family. I leaned in. Then you should have thought about that before starting one with mine. She left without another word. Daniel came out minutes later, asking what I said to her. I didn't answer. Just looked at him, dead in the eyes, and said, You'll find out soon enough. That was the last time we spoke like a couple. The next twist came out of nowhere. Rachel called me late one night. You need to see something, she said. She texted me a screenshot of a Reddit thread, of all things. It was under a throwaway account, but the post was clearly written by someone connected to Daniel. It was titled, How do I protect my assets from a manipulative wife threatening to ruin my business? In the post, he described me as unstable, paranoid, emotionally abusive. Said I was trying to bleed him dry. After he supported me for years. He even claimed I was trying to turn our son against him. The comments were full of the usual. Lawyer up, she sounds toxic, get full custody. I stared at the screen for 10 straight minutes, feeling my face go hot. He wasn't just stealing from me. He was building his defense early. Painting me as a villain before I could even speak. Rachel called it immediately. This is a setup. He's going to use this to say you're irrational if you ever go public. Susan's advice? Don't respond. Don't engage. But screenshot everything. And we use it all. The days that followed were tense. I barely slept. My lawyer filed motions. Rachel helped me document everything. Calls, texts, even times Daniel came home late and smelling like cologne. Then came the biggest blow. Daniel served me with temporary custody papers. He claimed I was emotionally unstable and unfit to parent Luca full-time. Attached to the filing were anonymous tips, suggesting I had outbursts in public and was seen crying alone in parking lots, implying some kind of mental breakdown. I knew exactly where that came from. Starbucks. That night after Luca's birthday party, he was trying to turn my lowest moment into a weapon. I sat on the floor of my closet holding those papers, shaking. Then I stood up. And I got to work. Rachel helped me install cameras in the house. Hidden, legal, and time-stamped. Susan pushed for a court date to respond to his custody claims. I contacted my old clients from the event planning business and collected every testimonial they were willing to write. I filed paperwork to reopen my business in my name alone. And then, through one of Daniel's old employees, someone who left on bad terms, I got access to internal emails showing Daniel used company funds to pay Megan Landry. That was the turning point. Because now it wasn't just personal. It was corporate fraud. Susan sent a letter to Daniel's business attorney letting him know we had evidence. She didn't even wait for a reply. She filed a petition to freeze all remaining accounts, including his business ones. And just like that, Daniel's cash flow stopped. Within 48 hours, the first cracks appeared. He came storming into the kitchen, holding the legal paperwork. "What the hell is this?" I didn't flinch. "That's the sound of your lies catching up. You're going to ruin me." I stood up from the table, looked him right in the eye, and said, "No. You already did that. I'm just cleaning up." He left the house that night. Callie picked him up in her black Range Rover. Luca saw it happen. I told him his daddy needed some space. He didn't cry. He just hugged me and said, "Mommy, I'm glad we have our own space now." That one sentence gave me more strength than I thought I had left. Daniel was gone, but the war wasn't over. The court date for the emergency custody hearing came fast. He showed up with a high-end lawyer and a smug look on his face. Like he still thought he could win. I walked in with Susan and Rachel by my side. I had proof. I had patience. And I had nothing left to lose. The judge was an older woman. Sharp, no nonsense. She asked for opening remarks. Daniel's lawyer went first, painting me as unfit, emotionally unstable, financially dependent. He mentioned the Reddit post. Said Daniel had reason to be scared. Then it was Susan's turn. She started quiet. And then she brought hell. She played recordings. The ones where Daniel bragged about cutting me off, hiding money, calling me stupid for not reading what I signed. Then she showed Megan's signed statement and copies of bank transfers. Daniel paying her hush money using business funds. And finally, she showed the screenshots. The Reddit post. The anonymous tips. All of it tied together. At the end, Susan looked the judge dead in the eye and said, "He didn't just try to control her. He tried to erase her. And now he's lying to your courtroom to take her child." The judge didn't even ask questions. She ruled in my favor. I kept full physical custody of Luca. Daniel was granted supervised visitation, pending investigation into his conduct. He didn't say a word walking out of court. But I wasn't done. Using the financial evidence, Susan filed a separate civil case for fraud. Daniel's company was investigated for misuse of funds. Megan agreed to testify, not for money, but because she finally wanted peace. Callie was subpoenaed. She tried to dodge it, but she was listed on several internal company emails. Turns out she had helped Daniel move large amounts of cash into offshore accounts. Illegally. The company faced major penalties. Callie lost her job. She was charged with financial misconduct. And Daniel? He lost everything. He was forced to sell his share of the company to cover fines. His accounts were frozen. His assets were split, half went to me, legally ordered by the court based on hidden income. He ended up living in a condo his parents used to rent out to employees. The Range Rover? Repossessed. I rebuilt my life slowly. I reopened my event business full-time. I moved to a smaller house with Luca in Geneva, Illinois. Peaceful. Clean. Honest people. Rachel became one of my closest friends. Susan, the kind of woman who never hugged anyone, came to Luca's 8th birthday party and brought a gift. But I'm not going to pretend I walked away clean. I let myself trust Daniel for too long. I ignored red flags. I made myself small to keep peace in a family that never wanted me. I gave up my independence the day I signed those papers without reading them. That was on me. But I learned. I check everything now. I teach Luca the importance of earning and protecting what's yours. I never lie to him about what happened. I just say, "Your dad made choices that hurt people. But we're okay now. We're stronger." And we are. The last time I saw Daniel, he was working at a hardware store in a nearby town. He didn't see me. But I saw him. He looked tired. Hollow. He bent over a cart, scanning barcodes. The man who once said I was lucky to have him now wore a name tag that read, "Need help? Ask Daniel." No, Daniel. You needed help. And now you get to ask for it. Every damn day.